Armand here with the forecast for the week of February 26th, 2024. It goes without saying, no, it doesn't go without saying. I have to say that if you're watching this before Saturday, the 24th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, when a lot of people do watch this on Saturday mornings, then please join me at noon Eastern, 1700 Greenwich, for the March forecast live. And if you miss it live, then you can just go to the channel and watch it later. And that would be just about as good, I would have to think. But it's fun if you're here live, it's fun to interact a little bit, particularly towards the end. So we have the March forecast coming up soon. This week, though, the end of February and the beginning of March, it's a pretty active week. We're coming off the energy of the Virgo full moon. The moon goes through Libra at sort of like midweek, and then we sort of round out the work week with the moon in Scorpio, and then we get a little bit of the moon in Sagittarius to enjoy on the weekend. So basically, what we have in terms of the lunar energy this week is we come the high full moon energy. Then the moon goes into Libra. When the moon is in Libra towards the beginning part of the week, it's kind of a nice energy because there's a nice connection to all of the Aquarius planets. And I mean all of the Aquarius planets, because we have, we have Venus, and we have Mars, and we have Pluto in there. And so we have nice connections there. It should be really the air sign kind of vibe and so on. Remember, we have no fire in the sky, though. There's no fire in the sky until the moon gets into Sagittarius at the weekend. Having no fire in the sky essentially means, and we've had no fire in the sky except for the moon since January 23rd, and we won't have any fire in the sky except for the moon until March 9th. Having no fire in the sky means bring your own enthusiasm, right? Like, we have a lot of air, we have earth, we have water energy, we have a lot of water energy. The doors will open, but you got to push, right? The cosmos is not really giving you that push. Bring your own enthusiasm, and things should be fine. So, but the Libra energy, good sociable kind of thing, should be, pretty good for getting stuff done at the beginning part of the week and all that. The moon goes into Scorpio more towards the end of the week. Scorpio moon is going to start out, for a long time, the Scorpio moon was ending every month. The Scorpio moon's last task would be to say hi to Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio, so this harmonious connection with the ruler of the sign the moon was in. I mean, the moon doesn't really like being in Scorpio, but not so bad. We're eventually waiting for this nice connection. We'll sort of wrap things up. Now, when the moon goes into Scorpio, where she's not particularly happy, the first thing that she's going to do is to square Pluto. Right, so it is still the case that Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. It's a little bit like, it's a little bit like getting an assignment, a little bit of a scolding / assignment. This has got to be done type of thing. And then the moon goes on to oppose Jupiter and Uranus. So, there's a little bit, and they are at least in the moon's favorite sign of Taurus, a little extra edginess to the already edgy moon in Scorpio. Not a bad thing, but I would have to say, well, does patience prevail? Not so much. And then the moon goes into Sagittarius, figure the back end of the weekend, we get a little bit of something going on over there. The moon will be, give me just a second over here, the moon we'll have the last quarter moon. So let's say Saturday night, the moon will be in Sagittarius heading towards the last quarter moon. So it's not so bad. Okay, so that's an outline of the lunar week. Now, we start the week with a bit of a kick, as Mars will, in Aquarius, will square Jupiter. Now, Mars is just done from his meeting with Venus, and still kind of the full moon, and this square to Jupiter. Mars wants to act, Jupiter says, let's go. More energy, more energy, more energy. And so we start the week, the moon is in Libra, trying to maintain balance, having nice connections to the Aquarius planets, not really connecting with the Pisces and the Taurus planets all that much at all. That might be kind of, and then we have this Mars square to Jupiter. Basically, people want to get moving on things. But, Mars is an Aquarius, so they want to get moving on big picture things, right? You want to get moving on big picture things. You want to further the long range goals. It's a really good time to do something that furthers your long range goals. Something that, or something, it's a really good time to act like, with a cause in mind, right? Not necessarily, this is Aquarian energy, not necessarily that personal. If you think it's time to go out and, save the something or others, go do it. This is a really, really good energy pulling you forward as we begin the week. I would say I would include Sunday. People do things on Sunday. Not may, but people do things on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, right? And you can even carry that over into the earlier part of Wednesday. Good, and it's only for the point of getting started on something. It's a good point to get started on something. Then the back end of and then we have at midweek, we get a little, so after this sort of big push forward, then at midweek on Wednesday, what do you think happens? What do you think happens? The Sun and Mercury get together, they're conjoining, and they're both conjoining while they're sitting on Saturn. Now, all of that enthusiasm that began the week, it doesn't dissipate. We're not dissipating that enthusiasm, but we have to focus it, right? No longer will it be the case that, we're just going to go running and cheering ahead and saying, yeah, for our team, or this is what I'm going to do. Now we got to say, okay, can we actually do it? So the sign of Pisces, and there's that Piscean emotional, compassionate energy that should be very, very positive. But it's Saturn, and so your plan has to have some merit to it. What happens next as we pull away from midweek, as we get to the 29th, it's the extra day that we get in February, then the Sun and Mercury will be in a nice relationship to Jupiter. So whatever passes the test on Wednesday gets furthered as you go along. Moon is in Scorpio, serious stuff, but Jupiter is going to give a little bit of a push to the Sun and Mercury. So we start out, lots of enthusiasm, things going pretty easily. We get a little bit of a test at midweek. Whatever passes the test, we can go forward with. Easy, easy. Okay, in terms of relationship, there's a lot of stuff going on at the back end of the week. I would say that because Juno, the partnership asteroid, is implicated, that existing partnerships would get most of the energy. But we have, I'm looking over here. I am looking over here. But we do have Mercury opposite Juno as Venus squares Uranus, right? Okay, so Mercury opposite Juno. Juno is out in Virgo, not close to where the full moon was, but in the same sign. Getting a little of that energy. We're really looking at Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd here. So Mercury in Pisces opposed to Juno in Virgo. There's what we call reception going on there because Virgo is Mercury's sign. This is, saying what you need to say in your relationship. Let's put it that way. And that's true, especially for existing relationships. And then Venus squares Uranus. Now, a square is a tense aspect. There's no two ways about it. A square is a tense aspect. When Venus and Uranus square each other, we typically have a little bit of impatience. We're tired of the status quo. We're tired of the same thing in relationship. You know what I say all the time. I'm going to give you the same example. Saturday night is pizza night. Well, like let's switch it up and have Chinese food or something like that. That's kind of the thing. For people that are single, try something or someone new. It's the breaking out of the box, and it's true of relationship. And I'm highlighting that because of the Juno aspect that's also hot at this time. But it's true of aesthetics. It's true of socializing in general. You want to mix things up. You want to do things a little bit different. Enough of the same thing already, we say, when Venus is square to Uranus. The thing is this. Venus is in Uranus's home sign of Aquarius, and Uranus is in Venus's home sign of Taurus. So they're in what we call mutual reception. This tense aspect of a square, it's not really very tense because they're speaking each other's languages, right? So we can understand that we want to mix things up, that we want to do something different. When it comes to socializing, when it comes to creative projects, when it comes to finance, for that matter. We may see a little of this as we approach the weekend. Anyway, we want to get a new perspective on things, and the tension of the square is only really going to serve to motivate us to do something, as opposed to just sort of feel the tension. We feel like we're going to do something when that square is there. We want to get something done. Yeah, if you happen to be at a tipping point, where things are going to, go to the next level, or something else might happen, this could push you. If you're at the tipping point, it won't bring you to it, but if you're at it, then you might go one way or the other with relationship. But basically, this is a fresh air when it comes to relationship. The quest for fresh air when it comes to relationship, when it comes to socializing, when it comes to creative things, and even how you're taking in things when it comes to aesthetics and stuff like that. Maybe go instead of going to the museum and visiting the impressionist section as you always do, maybe you're going to go off to the modern section or something like that, the post-impressionists. Get a little wild. You know what I'm saying? Or, when it comes to watching movies, maybe instead of the usual movies, you switch and try to watch something a little bit different. Instead of action adventure, you go for romance, or vice versa, or comedies instead of dramas, vice versa. It doesn't. Uranus and Venus don't really care. They say, let's change the channel. Let's watch something different. Let's do things a little bit differently. The Sagittarius moon, particularly on Saturday night. So this is an energy that's really great for Saturday and Sunday. Friday, we'll see. It is the last quarter moon on Sunday. So yeah, the sense is that, more Saturday, Sunday, Friday, you're still dealing with that Scorpio moon. By the way, because Neptune at the end of Pisces, at about 26 degrees Pisces, is the planet furthest along. We're having very long moon void times now. So that, there's no fire in the sky, and we have a lot of long moon void times. And when the moon is void, it's great for sleeping. It's great for sleeping. And, so we have aspects that are going to wake us up this week. And we have some stuff that suggests, roll over but don't forget to watch the March forecast. You should like and subscribe. You should like this video. You should subscribe, and you should hit the little bell so that you get notifications when there's going to be something like a live broadcast, or when the regular videos drop, as they say. All right. I'll see you either for the March forecast, or I'll see you next week, or I'll see you sometime soon.